I'll have to model the net force acting on an object which is dropped from rest and falls straight down. My problem is to model drag force especially, in order to satisfactorily explain object behavior, which means object's position and velocity change over time. I will examine three different cases. In the first case, there is no drag force. In the second case, we have linear drag force, while in the third case, drag force has a magnitude which is proportional to the square of object's velocity magnitude. Well, I have experimental data as I have a video from the following object. There are some clip settings here. This is the distance I use to calibrate length scales in a video. These are the axes I used. The experimental data have to do with y position and y and velocities component at y-axis. The duration of my experiment is 1.83 seconds, but we will consider only the first 0.79 seconds because I believe that at this time my object do reach the ground. I have a model there. In this model, I consider linear drag force and quadratic drag force, but not simultaneously. As you see here, I have only viscous drag force. The data I gain are graphically represented here, where I have y position versus time. As you see here clearly, both models, free fall model and linear drag force model, either overestimates or underestimates experimental data, while the quadratic drag force model fits satisfactorily experimental data. What does it mean? When velocity is on the verge of stabilizing its magnitude, the final stabilized velocity is the terminal one. Stabilized velocity means constant velocity, and constant velocity means F net equals 0. Does any of our model predicts any terminal or stabilized velocity? Let's see. We made some minor changes in our Python files about graphical representation and data exportation. With the data we gained, we make graphical representation of velocity at y-axis, the y-axis component, versus time. As you see here, the free fall model does not predict any terminal velocity, while the two others do predict terminal velocity, and the quadratic drag force model predicts that this happens sooner than the linear drag force model. Let's explain it mathematically. Well, demanding that free fall model gives a terminal velocity leads us to expect that weight is 0, but this does not make any sense. On the other hand, quadratic viscous drag model leads us to have some terminal velocity. If we solve this simple quadratic equation, we find out that the magnitude of the terminal velocity is about 3.93 meters per second. Let's run our code to prove it. Well, I estimate that this happens when t equals 1.3 seconds. Running the program, we found out that the graphical representation of velocity versus time gets stabilized, as you see here, and the final terminal velocity is about, the magnitude of the terminal velocity is about 3.916. Not a bad estimation, I suppose. What if an object is thrown downward? Does initial velocity affect velocity's behavior over time? We can distinguish, as you see here, three different cases. In the first case, where initial velocity is less than its terminal value, our object accelerates through time until its velocity gains its terminal value. On the other hand, where initial velocity is equal the terminal velocity, which is minus 3.9, the two vectors of weight and drag force leads to F net equals 0, and our object has velocity which remains constant over time. Whereas, in the third case, where initial velocity is greater than its terminal value, let's see what happens. Initial velocity y component minus 10. Let's run our program to find out what happens. Wow, drag force initially is greater than the weight. Finally, is equal than the weight. Well, velocity initially decelerates up its terminal value. The three different cases are there. In the last case, F net has the opposite direction. This explains the decelerating behavior of our velocity. Thank you for listening.